Tristan with Nerdette's Newsstand, and I want to talk about a video that I seen just a little bit ago that was kind of calling me and Comics by Perch and your boy Zach out in a weird way, but not in a cruel way. I don't mean that, and I don't want any hate sent to RJ from the Fourth Age, but I do want to talk about it. Now, I didn't go through point by point, but there was a few things that I wanted to show you, and I want to kind of start an invitation. And what I mean by that is I would love to have a debate with RJ around this topic. I would love to know and be able to pick his brain, because honestly, he's too smart for his own good. But also in the same sense, I feel like he might have grown up in that town in Footloose where you weren't allowed to dance. And I think you'll understand what I mean when I go through this. So I'll put the link to the original video in the pinned comment. You can check RJ out if you haven't seen him before. He also has an Indiegogo, which is awesome, called Valiant. Now, again, no hate whatsoever. I'm not being mean to RJ at all. I have a lot of respect for him. But a lot of what he was saying within this video was calling out our way of thinking when it came to comics, and them always being relatively liberal and relatively political. Now, he also talks about subjective and objective truth. And obviously, those are two completely different things. Objective truth is the sky is blue, clouds are white, grass is green. Okay, I get it. You could say, when grass starts to die, it turns brown, but maybe I should have used fire is hot. Those are all objective truths. Subjective truths are more along the lines of what you feel, how something makes you, happy, or it makes you sad, or you read this story and you cry, or you read this story and you're angry, but the next person that picks it up thinks this story is terrible. Storytelling, in essence, is all subjective, right? It's all subjective. We're all going to read into different things. We're all going to think of things differently. And the way that we feel when we come back from those stories is completely 100% subjective. Now, what's not subjective is the fact that, yes, I hate to break it to you, comics have always had some sort of political influence in it, whether it is politics or some sort of societal issue. It's always been there. Now, he did this whole defining terms thing, right? Talking about what politics is, what the definition of it is. Politics, in his mind, are the beliefs of a person. Okay, I understand that, but politics, when I am talking about this, are basically an association with the government or the country or another area. So when we talk about Captain America punching Hitler, that is objectively about politics. When we talk about Speedy being an addict, that is objectively about a societal issue at the time. That doesn't change no matter your beliefs. Those stories were about that. That is easy. That is like, saying Batman has a black suit 99% of the time. That is objective. It doesn't change. So I'm going to talk about a few things. I'm going to show you a couple points, but I think what it is, and you can't control everything. And I know there are people out there that love to control or to feel the need to control, but you cannot. You just can't. And especially with a lot of the more postmodern thinking, it's not going to happen. And the explanation of feelings, I get it. I get what you're saying. But none of it comes back to comics. None of what you said, and you said a lot, none of what you said comes back to comics. Your problem isn't necessarily in this whole political debate about what's in comics and what's not. It's about the people you don't like. You don't agree with those people. You don't agree that, they're progressive. You don't like their ideology, and I understand that. But you cannot shape or control what they think. You just can't. Just with anything. I can't control, the fact that I really enjoyed He-Man. And it's getting just fastly ratioed. But I can't control that other people didn't like it. And I'm okay with that. Because it is something we all differ on. Now, when he goes on to talk about, these people, these us versus them, the whole story, the whole video is us versus them. And I think that's a big issue. I don't think it should be us versus them. I think there should be a compromise somewhere in between. It is just as much okay for somebody of progressive ideology story to exist as much it is for somebody with a conservative ideology. What you do is let the market decide. I've said this a bunch of times. You specifically talked about a book in your comic book shop that was about how Christianity was evil, and it was for kids. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. It's that easy. Let the market decide. If the book does well, then there's a need for it. I highly don't think that that's something, parents will be buying their kids, but it's not for me to decide because those are not my kids. It is up to the parents, right? So, I want to show you a couple clips. And I think a lot of this is where the problem is. And I'm not saying that RJ's way of thinking is wrong. I'm criticizing it in the way that you gotta be, you almost gotta be more open. You really do. Like some of the things I was actually shocked kind of in a way to hear you say. So there's just two clips I want to play. Here's the first one.
I just want to say, someone might be saying to themselves, well, look, this is just the way they see things, and this is just the way you see things. And their way of seeing things is just as equal to your way of seeing things, so you just have to leave them be. I would say, no, I'm sorry, that's not actually the case. We can take...
Yeah, it is kind of the case. You can, and that's where I'm going to go back to control. You cannot control what other people think. You cannot control what they like. No matter how hard you try or how wrong you think it is, that is not your right. Do you understand what I'm saying? And here's the other one.
My side versus their side, and their side is as valid as my side. I'm sorry, no. Their side is not as valid as my side because A, they don't actually believe it to be true, and B, we can prove that it isn't true.
Honey, listen. Everybody that wants to talk about comics and get them to a better place than they are right now, they're valid. And thinking otherwise, I hate to use the word because it's such a left-leaning dog whistle. It's fascist. Like that word's so overused, it's lost a lot of its meaning, just like woke, right? Just like woke. Saying their side is not as valid is them doing the exact same thing. Now, I know you have a lot of other reasons, and you talk about, doing so would leave you open to attack. Okay. Don't let them do it. Canceling has no power if you give it no power. Are you really worried about being canceled? You worried that you might work for DC and this might haunt you? No. You can't give it any power. The only way for you to stop that type of behavior is to take away its power. And if you don't let someone cancel you, they can't. Now, I don't know if you mean like further attack than that, but you keep talking about how they think you're evil, how they think you're all of these, racist, this, that. Who cares? Do your book. You know what the best way to show these people that they're wrong is? Be successful. Who cares if they think you're evil? Are you really going to lose any sleep at night? I'm not. I don't care because I want what's best for comics. Now, with all of that being said, it still doesn't relate. It still makes no sense. What you're saying is I'm wrong about comics being relatively liberal or political. Have always been, but I'm not. And I've proved that time and time again. We've seen presidents in books. We've seen it as far back as the 70s. We've seen the Watergate issue in books. We've seen Captain America dislike America and the American dream and actually become Namor. I'm not wrong. I get what you're saying. But when things are objectively factual using your game here, I'm not wrong. Objectively, comics have had politics in them, have had some sort. Now, we can go further and say that now the nuance is gone and it's more preachy than politics. Yes, but that was never your point. So anyways, what I wanted to do with this video, like I said in the beginning, is invite RJ on my channel. My email is in my About Me section, and have a little debate on politics and comics. I think it would be really good. I could do it either as a live stream or ask the expert. I think it would be fun. Now, you can't say that these people need discipline, and that's literally what you said, and then still expect to be taken seriously. And I think you're smart. I think you're really, really smart. But you also have to understand you don't decide those things. You don't decide how people think. And you can't control it either. So it's silly to try. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think I'm wrong. I would be gladly open up for a discussion on how I'm wrong and these things haven't been there. But objectively, again, using your statement, I'm not wrong. Let me know what you guys think. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
I'm not just a